Hello everyone, I am Shreya Trivedi. This slide is about one of the greatest topics for our literature. We are dealing with CCE 15, which is termed as Indian Poetics or which is named as Indian Poetics. Now, first of all, let me be very clear that poetry and poetics are totally different terms. We have learned poetry. We have learned many poetries, British poetries, non British poetries, Canadian poetries, Indian poetries, etc. But we have never ever heard about the term poetics. Now, poetry simply means the kavya, which we are terming nowadays as song. But do you know what the poetics mean? Poetics means the elements which are embedded to make the poetry very beautiful to hear and to listen. So, the study of that elements is known as or is termed as poetics. Now, you must be confused. Why Indian poetics? So, let me be very clear that the poetics, or in other words, we can also term this as Kavya Shastra. Now, this Kavya Shastra was firstly being introduced or was firstly being given by our Indian ancient rhetoricians. Now you must be thinking what the rhetoricians means. Rhetoricians means the our ancient gurus, our rishi munis, which were highly educated. Okay, so they have given so many theories which are beyond our imagination. We can't even imagine that this much scholarly people they were. Okay, so we are back to the topic, Indian poetics. Now, uh, you must have heard the name of Plato, Aristotle, and etc. They were also a critic, but this Indian poetics or the Indian rhetoricians who gave the theory of Indian poetics are totally different because they were during the century before Christ. So their theories are much ancient than this, but still they have the power which encourages us to study it more and more, to go deep in more and more. Now, our Indian poetics begins with Ras theory. In our syllabus, we are having one book named Indian Aesthetics by V.S. Sethuraman. In our syllabus, we are having 4 different theories. First one is Ras theory, second is Dhvani theory, third is Alankar theory, and fourth is Vakrokti theory. I know it is a bit difficult to pronounce also, but we will be very clear once we study this theory. Our vision will be clear of how a poetry deals with the aspects, the elements which are embedded in it. Okay. Theory and its pioneers. Pioneers means the person who has first given who has first said about the theory. Okay, so first one is Ras theory. It was given by Bharat Muni in 2nd century BC, that is 2nd century before Christ. I told you previously that our Indian rhetoricians are far more intelligent than the European or English rhetoricians, because Indian rhetoricians have given these theories before many years. We can't even imagine. Second one is Dhvani theory. It was given by Anandvardhan in 8th century AD. Then it is Alankar theory by Bhamar in 6th century AD. Vakrokri theory by Kuntak in 11th century AD. Don't get confused. We will learn it very, very, very clearly. Just remember first that Ras theory was given by Bharat Muni, Dhvani theory was given by Anandvardhan, Alankar theory by Bhamar, and Vakrokti theory by Kuntak. First, we will discuss about Ras theory. Now, first, after hearing the name Ras, the first thing which comes to our mind that what the Ras is. What is the meaning of Ras? In simple sense, in Gujarati also, Ras means juice. So in this also, we are dealing or we think that Ras means juice. Okay, so firstly, if we change that scenario and we think of literature in earlier times, we told earlier that it was in 2nd century BC. Now in earlier times, literature was equal to Kavya. That means only Kavya was there in literature. Now Kavya means poetry. Okay, and the Kavya was also divided into two parts, that was Drashya and Shravya. Now Drashya Kavya, what was Drashya Kavya? Nataks, dramas which were performed by many people in the court of kings. We are knowing about all these things. And the second one is Shravya Kavya, that is epic. So these both are the types of kavyas which were there during that time. Ras theory was given by Bharat Muni in his book named Natya Shastra. This was the book in which the whole theory of Ras was given and was discussed in length. In that, Bharat Muni concentrated on Drashya Kavya, that is Natak. And so, as he has given a scientific way of learning poetry, and so he was considered as the first scientific critic in Sanskrit. Scientific critic. Why scientific critic? Because he chronologically gave the concept of poetry or the elements of poetry, which before that no one has given it, and so he was considered as first scientific critic in Sanskrit. Now in his book Natya Shastra, he gave the well-known theory Ras theory. As we discussed earlier, meaning of Ras in the first sense, if we just think of Ras, it simply means juice or taste or essence. But in Indian arts or Indian aesthetics, the flavor of any visual, literary or music word that evokes an emotions or feeling means anything which we see, which we hear, or any music which we hear, and that evokes an emotion or feeling in a person, that is considered as Ras. Now comes the Ras Siddhant. Siddhant means anything you know about Siddhant? Okay. Ras Siddhant, we are coming it after it, but first of all we should know that any experience is being felt by two persons, the creator and the reader. So if the Ras is being evoked in a person, that is because of the creator and the reader. So in Bharat Muni, Bharat Muni in Natya Shastra 6th chapter says that nahi ras datte kaschit pyartah pravartate means no meaning can proceed from speech in absence of ras. No speech can get ahead or no speech can be felt if ras is not being there in that speech. Okay, for that he gives the rasa sutra. Now rasa sutra means formula. In maths we learn about formula, in science also we learn about formula. Now Bharat Muni is a scientific critic, so he gave a ras sutra for ras, how the ras is being formed. The formula for that is Vibhanubhav, Vyabhichari Bhav, Sanyogada, Ras Nispatti, which means the realization of ras results from union of Vibhav, Anubhav and Vyabhichari. Realization of ras means the ras is being evoked or being felt after the combination of Vibhav, Anubhav and Vyabhichari Bhav. In simple sense, we can, in mathematical form, we can say that Vibhav plus Anubhav plus Vyabhichari Bhav is equal to ras. For that, he has given 8 basic mental or basic states in mind, that which is called Sthayi Bhav. Now Sthayi Bhav are the bhavs which are already been embedded in a human being naturally. No one can make it. It is already inbuilt in a person. There are 8 Sthayi Bhavs. First one, Rati. Rati means love. The feeling of love. It is already there in a person. No one can generate it. It is already there. Second is Shok, that is sorrow. Now let me give you one example for love first and then sorrow. If we see a beautiful flower in a garden, okay, so seeing that flower, our mind just gets happy and we feel like we love that flower. So that Rati Bhav is created, or rather it is already there, which is being evoked. Second is Shok, sorrow. If we see our loved being or any of the person who is very close to us, so the sorrow or the Shok Bhav is expressed. Then third one is Krodh or anger. That is also there. We see our mother. If we do something wrong, then she gets angry. Now it is already there in her mind, but it is generated or it is evoked by the action which we have done. And so anger is also one of the Sthayi Bhav. Then enthusiastic. If we go personally, then if someone says you can't do it, then we'll say no, I will do it. We are enthusiastic. No, I have to do this, I will do this. Utsaha આપણે કહી ને. So that is one of the Sthayi Bhav. Then comes Bhay, scariness. If we see suddenly a white color cloth in the dark room flying in the air, then our mind gets scared. We know that it is just a cloth, but still we have that feeling that we are getting scared of it. Then comes Hasya, means happiness. If someone is going on a road and the cycle slips, knowingly or unknowingly someone laughs. So that laughter is also one of the Sthayi Bhav because it is already there in a person. Then Jugupsa, curiosity. Now this bhav is already there in a person, but in some or the other level. suppose a child is there, he is very curious to know about each and everything. Okay, and the same child when grows up a little bit, then his curiosity remains the same, but he will not ask many questions just as a child asks. So this is also one of the sthai bhav. Last one is adbhut, wonder. We wonder about such things, no? What a wonderful day, we say. Means the day which they are feeling very wonderful, means what? That the day, it is not the same as it was before. Or we can say that the day has made them happy or shock. Okay, so that these are some of the sthai bhavs: rati, shok, krodh, utsah, भय, hasya, jugupsa and adbhut. Now it is difficult for you all to learn about this sthai bhavs, but you have to learn about all this thing, and that too not only in English but in the Sanskrit language also. These are the rati, shok, krodh. These are the Sanskrit names of this house. I hope you might have get some of the knowledge about ras. Thank you, and